I bet some of you who can get handy at artificial intelligence can do what took me 16 hours of reporting 2 full workdays. You could come up with the program, with the training of the AI bot to do that in an hour or less. And that's great. And that's what you should do. But what's not going to be replaced? What's not going to be displaced by AI? It's you being in a place with other human beings. Flesh and blood with flesh and blood. So just the most recent example, Virginia had an election. And during that election, in the last day of the election, I went out to Manassas, Virginia, which is less than an hour from my house. I talked to every voter I could. I just harassed people in the parking lot. They're coming out, "Hi, I'm Tim Carney. I'm a journalist." It's funny. It used to be that that conservatives were kind of like skeptical of journalists, and now basically they hate you. So but after about 8 or 9 of them, I could get one of them to talk to me. And when I asked them, "What is the most important issue to you?" there was a very interesting response I got. There was a hesitation. These were from the people who were at the Republican rally. They were going to vote Republican up and down the ticket. They were spending their night at this thing, and they said, "Issues with the schools." Now, if you know about Northern Virginia, and this also happened outside the polling places in like McLean, Virginia, people are sending their kids to literally the most prestigious public schools in America, and they said, "My number one issue is issues with the schools." And I knew what they meant. The average reporter probably wouldn't have known what they meant, but I would press them a little. I would see their discomfort. When they said issues with the schools, they didn't mean education or school or test scores. What they meant was that they were afraid that their public schools were going to try to turn their daughter into a son and hide it from them. And the only way I got that was by prodding them gently, by telling them, "Is this about the transgender ideology?" And just using even that term, ideology, signaled to the person who was 5 feet away from me that I understood where they were coming from, that I understood this was a real fear. No pollster calling could pick up that the number one issue for these Virginia voters was transgender ideology. No AI bot could pick that up either, because this wasn't big name people giving speeches. This was average parents who were voting. And every Republican voter, the first thing they said to me was something that was code word for transgender ideology. That was their number one concern. But I had to be there in the parking lot with them. On a no less weird, but slightly weirder topic, my neighborhood in Falls Church, Virginia had a neighborhood brothel. It wasn't like a massage parlor that also offered like sexual services. All they did was sell sex. And we brought it down through my reporting. But what happened was this woman in my neighborhood was walking home and she saw a thing that said Rose Spa. And she thought, a spa sounds really nice. I'd like to get like a spa service. And so she like Googles this place and notices that they do not advertise to women. They are not interested in female clients. And like your sciatica is not what they're going to address when you go to Rose Spa. It's very obvious from the website. So some of the reporting could have been done from the website. But I walked over there and I talked to the neighbors. And the neighbors gave me all the information. And I called the cops and I was like, "There's basically a brothel in my neighborhood." And the cops wouldn't answer it. So I go back to the neighbors and the neighbor said, "Okay." But when we talked to the cops, they said, "Yes, this is a brothel, but our hands are tied." "What do you mean your hands are tied?" "Well, basically it means that your county prosecutor is not going to press these charges." So then I show up at the trial. You think this is a public trial. This is something happening in Fairfax County, one of the largest counties in America. There's no official transcript of this trial. I had to be in that room to write down and to watch what happened, to watch how the county deputy prosecutor walked up to the pimp and explained to his translator, "We have no interest in prosecuting you. We're just going to make you plead guilty to not having the proper massage license, and then we're going to send you on your way." And I had to meet in person the county bureaucrat whose job it is to enforce some of these licenses, who then was, after meeting me in person, willing to call me and say, actually, no, they promised that they were legalizing prostitution de facto. So being there in person is what made all the difference. So what does this mean as a journalist? It means you can't just sit behind your desk. It means your actual opinion might be the smartest opinion on campus, might be a smart opinion when you graduate. But nobody's actually going to care what your opinion is. What they're going to care is what you tell them that they did not know. So yes, there's lots of data crunching, lots of analysis that needs to be done. But a huge part of what you can do is being in a place with other people and finding out what's going on. And not just for the sake of you telling people what's going on. Because a lot of times, oh, I want to get a quote to demonstrate X. No. A big part of what you want to do is learn. And this is the greatest blessing, I think, of life as a journalist.